We're about to start soon, guys. Okay, hopefully that worked. Sup, let's get it. Do you receive the cap, by the way? Oops. Why can I not see the damn thing? There we go. Now I can see it. Okay, so what up? Let's get it. The one. Hi, we're Nuvo. So Nuvo. This is not with Nuvo today. Wednesday's with Nuvo, the one. But thanks for joining my live draft. Let me make sure this thing is in silent. You haven't, so I'm gonna check. I thought you're gonna. Oh no, I think it's by the 17th. Let me know. Let me know, because if not, I need to reach to Dick's Sporting Goods. Sup, JB? What's up, man? Okay, so. Don't worry, man. I thought the only place of Dick's Sporting Goods that had it was like a couple. It wasn't the one you told me, so I figured let me just send them directly to you, and I just so by the 17th roughly. I just wanted to make sure you had it before the draft. So Mike Bibby, damn, look at that! I have a Sacramento King here. Love Mike Bibby, by the way, when he played with the Kings, bruh. Probably, I'm assuming probably missing the draft. Gonna be watching Endgame. When is going on? What's going on? I'm assuming. So Mike Bibby, bro, me and Noob are gonna stream it live. So if you cannot have it on TV, hit us up. Listen to our stream. We're gonna be talking about every pick. We're gonna be reacting. It's gonna be in Joe Nubo's channels. That's day 1. Day 2, I'm gonna be making one in here. So, by the way, hopefully the audio is good. Trying to change the area where I record for lighting. I bought myself a little desk. I'm not on top of a Domino's table anymore that I was wobbly. So hopefully everything is good. Jay Seymour, nice headphone. Thanks, man. They're Skull Candy. I love Skull Candy. They're not that expensive, and they do their trick. There we go. Marcus is here, and we lift the ban on Marcus. What's up, Marcus? Thanks for joining. Okay, guys, so let's talk real quick. Let me start with something I saw on Twitter, which I responded to what I saw on Twitter. I'm not going to call who the person was, but he was saying that O-line and edge rushers were a bigger need for the Ravens than wide receivers. And I was like, okay, maybe he's trying to make a bold statement, which, when I make a bold statement, I want to make sure that I have facts and I can support my statement. So O-line I can see, but even O-line I don't even think it's bigger than the wide receiver as need wise go. My response to this guy was like, okay, I didn't want to question the O-line because I think it's a preference at that point. But I went straight to the rushers and I said, okay, so you have Judon. The guy said like, oh, Tim Williams, he's not proven yet, blah, blah, blah. And we drafted 2 wide receivers that hopefully they can step up. And I was like, so you're telling me that Tim Williams is not proven, but you're willing to bet on Lassie and Jaleel Scott? Damn, no. And then if you put our outside rushers, you got Judon, proven, really good player. I would say that he's probably like a B player. And then you have Tim Williams and Bowser. They both need to prove themselves, but they're more veterans than Lassie and Scott. Because on the receiver side, who we have? You have Snead. And then you have Moore. He ain't proven. And then you have, like I said, pick your third. We super thin on wide receiver. So no, wide receiver is a bigger need. Now, if you want to talk to me like, should we draft a rusher over a wide receiver? Maybe. Because I'm all about BPA. Just don't be telling me that the wide receiver position is not the biggest need when it is. even in my opinion, it's a bigger need than the O-line. O-line's just a better bang for your buck for this offense, but we are super thin, laser sharp thin on the wide receiving core. So let me see here some things you guys are saying. So 21. See, I have a jersey 21 for Webby. It's been long enough. That's fine for him wearing 21. I love Webby, so that's fine. Whatever. I think 21 last year was Elliott. So I mean, Elliott gave it up. Elliott's wearing 32, and Weddle endorsed that, so that's fine. Yeah, so Marcus, they were talking about for first round. Well, yes, they're saying first round that we should not draft a receiver because our biggest need, so this person was making the case for need, was edge rushers and no alignment. David Missler, I see some trains already. Damn. Where are my Jets at? Come on. And Kill Harry all day. Not tomorrow. Wednesday, we're going to have a special live mock for NF Podcast on Joe Nubel's channel, and we're gonna be having a special guest, which is Chips. He has a podcast. Most of you know him from Twitter. We're gonna have similar to what we did with Birdline BS. So right now I have that one schedule. I have mock draft 6.0 3-round there. I'm gonna be throwing on my website. That's not gonna have a video because on next Monday I'm trying to set up another live mock draft with different podcasters from different parts of the states. So I feel like that's a better way. Right now I have 4 lined up. Hopefully we can get more. So stay tuned. So see Fernando. Oh no, I lost it. Fernando, what up, man? Thanks for joining. Do you think it's ideal to get a wide receiver in the first round? Consider that our wide receiving core is probably one of the worst, and that we are good getting good alignment in the third, like Yanda, Wagner, or Brown Jr. I mean, that's a great point. In my opinion, if you go basically on need, and I don't want to do history because as good as we are in the 3rd round drafting and later on, I think Wagner was actually a 4th round, but as good as we are drafting old linemen in the middle rounds, we're that bad drafting receivers in the 1st round. So it's not because of history. I just think there's a lot of depth on wide receiver this year, and a lot of, how do you say it? It's a lot of bang for your buck. You might be able to get a premier receiver. They have some flaws, but they can be a legit number 1 on the late 1st, early 2nd, which usually that doesn't happen. And the reason why that's happening is because the defensive side is so stacked that you would think, it's gonna drop some of those players. So I agree with Fernando. Let's get it. I agree with Sonny. I'm not sure what you agree with, but I like when people agree. Now, if you don't agree with me, I'm fine with that, guys. You challenge me, I'm good with that. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Give it a like to the video. We are gonna do another giveaway around 350. So Let's Get It was actually the one that won the NFL cap. It was the draft, the one that the players are gonna be wearing. So Let's Get It won that. So let me keep going here. If the Ravens only had the first 5 picks of the draft, well, what are your picks? Wait, if the Ravens only had the first 5 picks of the draft, what are your picks? So David Mr. shout out to you. Thanks for joining. If I understanding this correctly, you're asking if we have pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the Ravens, like literally our top 5 picks in the draft, who will be the 5 guys that I will draft? That's a good question. Let me start with, I will get Quentin Williams. I will get Bosa and Josh Allen. The problem with Bosa in our defense, I don't think he's an outside guy itself. He might be inside. He's that 4-3 DN. So can he play outside linebacker? I'm not sure. But I'll get both. Quentin Williams, and then I'll give Devin White 4. And I want to get a receiver in that top 5. Not that top... that 5th guy, I don't know. Probably Cody Ford. Probably Cody Ford or DK. So if that was the question, if I misunderstood the question, just re-ask it, because I sometimes not the smartest guy, so I have trouble sometimes. So like I said, let's see what the cost is about. I'm excited to see what he's about. Only condition I pass on wide receiver or O-line is if someone really good falls to like Devin White, Devin Bush, Ed Oliver, etc. follows us. Mike Bibby. and I'm tripping on your name, but that was not the argument. My argument is, hey, if you're in love with Sweat, if you're in love with Farrell, Burns, White, whoever falls to you at 22, my argument is we should not draft him. The argument was, he was saying the need on edge was greater than the need on wide receiver, which is not the case. We are the worst wide receiving corps in the whole league. Not even close. The Jets are up there, but we're definitely the worst. So, let me see. Oh man, lost it again. Okay, you think it's ideal to get a wide receiver? Oh wait, that was not good. Okay, so first Harry, third McRobin, Ridley, Polite. I like that. In my latest mock, I have not Harry, but Pernue was joy. Hakeem Butler in the second round, not the first. And then in the third round, I have Riley Ridley, Bam Powers. I'm missing two. Zach Allen, which I love. And the linebacker out of, I think he's Okiki from Stanford. He may be better, hopefully. Oh, Marcus, thank you for those Jets, man. I agree with you, JB. I love Harry. Trains again. I'll give you a chance. Thank you, David. What are your wide receiver rankings? So I did a video of the wide receiver ranking, but let me tell you my top four. I have N'Keal first, AJ Brown second, and AJ Brown is better than N'Keal right now. I think why I have N'Keal first is N'Keal's catch radius is insane, and I think as Lamar, because even I don't know if you guys saw the video with him throwing to Jalen Smith. Those passes still weren't accurate. They weren't super accurate, and there's nobody there defending, right? So you need a guy that can adjust. So N'Keal Harry has this big catching radius. He can catch. I'm in love with his catching radius. I just think for Lamar will be awesome, and then in the red zone he's gonna be a monster. The AJ Brown I think is the better wide receiver right now. Who else? I had DK and Hakeem 3 and 4 tied, and 5th, if I'm not mistaken, I had Debo. I think Hollywood was 6, and can't remember 7 and 8 right now. But yeah, something like that. Exactly. More Jets than trains. Marcus, you're becoming my favorite, man. What's up, Donovan? Shout out to you for joining us. Do you see the cost of drafting a running back in any round? Yes. You know what? I would like in the 5th or 6th round if we can get a guy like Bryce Love. It's a different type of back. You need a different type of back than what we have, because we're fairly young in the running backs. I know Ingram's not the youngest, but the other two are super young. Happy birthday to Gus. Today he turned 24. So if you think about it, we have Gus Edwards, Dixon, very young, still on the rookie deal. Then you have Ingram, he's your veteran. And then you have Thompson, which is a rookie deal, right? He was undrafted rookie. All of them are power backs. Ingram can catch. He can catch a lot of screens. Bryce Love is really dynamic on the open field. The problem with Bryce Love, he cannot be a workhorse. He's not a 3-down back. But in here, you don't need that, right? So, yes, Donovan. David says, AJ Brown, Butler just squeezed past Harry and DK. So that I'm assuming that's your ranking. So AJ Brown, I have no problem with AJ Brown. Butler over Harry, we have to debate that one. I think Harry is a little bit more polished than Butler. Butler and Harry's upsides are very similar, and DK has more upside than both of them. So let's say Fernando. Honestly, most of our wide receivers are unproven. Scott and Lastly are like rookies because they haven't played a game. Harry and AJ Brown will be selected. If we select Harry and AJ Brown, I'm gonna lose it. And that gives you 5 years or 4 years, assuming one of them is second round, of wide receiver growth with Lamar. All of them growing together. That would be awesome. I mean, that's one of the best scenarios. Now, somebody in one of the videos, either in this one or in Joe Newell's, was saying like, oh, draft, I think it was Harry with the 22, and then jump up to early second to get maybe Butler, right? I did the math. So every time I do a trade in my mock drafts, I do the math. Every number has to add up. There's a chart that I follow. If you want to have that trade, if you want to jump where we currently are, so if you're drafting in the 22nd, you didn't trade back, you didn't get any picks. So based on what we have, we would have to get both fours and a fifth or a sixth, 5 picks to jump to, I think it was the 44th pick. 5 picks for that. That's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. That if you trade back and you gather more picks, there's a chance you jump to the later part of the second draft or the second round of the draft, not early. Okay, so no one. Let me see here. No one is really Luis Pestaña. I'm assuming. Thanks for joining me, guys. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please do. No one's really talking about running backs, but I personally love Devin Singletary in the fourth. Singletary is another guy that I would like to have. He's tough. He's gritty. He has pretty good hands. I prefer the thing is, and again, I'm all about BPA, but I would like not having to draft a wide receiver in the first 4 rounds. So, Sonny, do you think that Bosa could be a little hype to be put in the front of all the other defenders? He's been. That's the thing I don't like about Bosa. I lost who was giving me the comment. Man. Anyway, with Bosa, oh, here it is. It's Marcus. Yeah, so I think with Bosa, he's really, really good. If he and DK are similar. DK, when he's healthy, he's really good. Not as good as Bosa is as a defender. Bosa's really polished. DJ needs to work at some areas of the game. But Bosa, there's 2 things with Bosa. Injury history, and I don't know if he can work on a 3-4 outside linebacker. And I'm not sure if he's a 3-stand DN, right? I'm not sure. So I think he's one of those guys that you have to put him in the right position for him to succeed. Can he be an outside linebacker? Maybe, but I haven't seen that. I haven't seen him in coverage. He's basically a rusher. When you're an outside linebacker, as you see with Judon, as you see with Suggs, as you see with Bowser, you have to drop back. With Miller, Shubb, they all have to cover. Not one-on-one, but at least in a zone scheme. Bosa, I think, is more like a hand in a dirt type of guy. But in a 3-4, you get sucked in that B gap against those big guards, and you can't really have the outside leverage. I don't know. Is he overhyped? I think he's really good. But in the right spot, he will be really, really good. Also, the last name helps him, right? So, let me see here. David says, no, you got the question absolutely right, man. Ask Noob the same thing on Twitter. He had a similar opinion. Okay, that's good. It's the first time that somebody asked me that question. So, I just think you can go one linebacker, take the top linebacker. I will be tempted to actually take Bosa away and put a receiver there. Yeah, I don't know. That was a good question. Thanks for that one. Mike Baby says, if I had the first 5 picks, I will pick Quinn Williams. Quinn Williams a beast. Josh Allen, good. Devin White, Rashawn Gary, Juwan Taylor, and Ed Oliver. I like Ed Oliver. The only reason I didn't go with Juwan Taylor is because we're good in tackles. And there's nothing that tells me that he can play guards, so we're good in tackles. But I like the rest. Lex Gatti said, wide receiver should be our first priority. Should be. But also, I mentioned this before, even with Nubo, you cannot make it that you have to draft a wide receiver. That's how we have Perriman. The receivers that we liked last year, which I can't remember right now, the ones that we liked, but they all got drafted before us. And the Ravens were desperate for a wide receiver with speed to go to the outside, right? Because we just lost Torrey Smith a year before that. So they forced the pick. You cannot force the pick. One of the reasons I'm so scared of Paris Campbell is that's a forced pick. You need speed. You need an outside guy. Boom. Don't force it. Let the draft come to you. If for some reason Hollywood, which I'm not a fan of, for at least for the Ravens, DK, Harry, Butler, and AJ are all gone before 22, which I don't expect it, but let's say they're all gone. That means a really good defender slipped by. That might mean that really good guard slipped to us. Why force a wide receiver? Go to the second, third round. Don't get a receiver that had a second round grade all the way on the 22nd because you got desperate. So, oops. So, baby, you need to tell Joe Newell to stop his run rush. Thank you for subscribing and donating, Marcus. That was awesome. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you. So there's no taking Joe Newell out of the Hakeem train. And he's gonna keep going. And you know what? Somebody asked me, to me and Newell, it's like pick one. And my to be honest, if you get me, whoever's gonna be better in the NFL, that's the one I get. I think both of them have upside. I think both of them will be good. Who's better right now, in my opinion, is Nkeo. Who might be better if all of them hit their ceiling, DK. And then who's better absolutely right now if you take all the receivers, AJ Brown. So Lex Get says, looking at Ravens' weakest position, that so you draft by need, but need can make you draft over. Look, for example, you guys know Miller was a draft by the Raiders last year, tackle. He wasn't projected to be a first round pick. He was overdrafted and he didn't play to the level, right? So you need to be careful to overdraft guys. We need a center. I agree. So we talked about it in last week's podcast. McCoy or Bradbury. Those are my two favorite guys. Either one. Hakeem Butler is a little rough. He is. Let's get it. But, upside. Nuke got me on the train and Sonny got me off the DK hype. The reason that I like DK a lot. I'm not trying to bash DK. DK is really good. The thing with DK is his injury history is what concerns me the most. If you make a CT scan, an MRI, and you're like, this dude is good, and you think he might stay healthy, DK is the way to go. So, David, don't get off that hype. He's still really good. Now, I don't think he'll last 22. In my latest mock, I had him 20 or 12 to Green Bay. But I can see a team like Buffalo in the top 10. They're pretty desperate for a receiver. Especially a tall receiver, right? They have A.J. Brown. They have Beasley. So they want a tall receiver. So I can see Buffalo being one of those guys. Fernando says, I agree, let's get it. Brown or Harry should be selected because they are safe bet. Okay, so I don't think Brown is a safe bet. I think Brown can be broken. Not that he will, but the thing with Brown is Brown needs a very accurate passer versus Harry can adjust better than Brown. I think Brown will be a star. I think Brown will be Deshaun Jackson. Maybe a little better. But Deshaun, his best years was when he had really good, accurate quarterbacks. So that's the thing with which Lamar's not trying to diminish Lamar, but he's not an accurate quarterback right now. So David said a ton of mock drafts are dropping 4 in our lap at 22. I seen that, and Joe Newell said if he's at 22, we cannot pass, we cannot trade back, we need to draft it, and I disagree. I think Lindstrom, McCoy can be equally as good. Maybe not day one, but I think they could. No reason why to get desperate and not trade back because he's a player, unless last year, for example, Derwin James fell into our laps, and we traded back, and Ravens Nation, as to this point, and I'll see some comments, they lose it. Oh my God, we could have had that guy. Yeah, we traded back. and then we traded back again. And what that I disagree with the first round pick that we got, but in that year I wanted Goddard was the tight end that I wanted. So, but the reason that that was good was that allowed you to pick Seuss Jr. That allow you to pick Mark Andrews. That allow you to trade up and get Jackson, right? So trading back, look, Derwin James is a hell of a player, but you still have a bunch of other players. So you have to be careful. I mean, I understand, but at 22, it's going to be rare that it's like, oh my God, you can't pass with this guy. So we'll see. Again, you'll see my reactions that day. Love our Gaston or Memphis back. Oh, Bryce Love over Gaston and the Memphis back. So Bryce Love, I like, and Memphis back, you're talking about, oh my God, Henderson. Henderson's really good. I like Henderson, but Henderson will go, I think I mocked him late second, early third. At that point, I don't want a receiver yet. So, Bibby says, I agree with you there. I think that potential ceiling are really important to consider. Like compared to last year, our defense has a much higher ceiling but a lower floor. Let me see it. That slip. Oh man. Higher floor. Okay. Something with Shazier and Mosley. Shazier had a much higher ceiling, but since Mosley had a higher floor, he ended up being. I agree with everything you're saying. One of the reasons, before Earl Thomas signed, I made a video, and you can check it somewhere in the playlist. Made a video saying, who should we target in free agent? And I said, D-Law, if he's there, DeMarcus Lawrence. And it was with Coach Evan, and Coach Evan said, oh, and how about Thomas? I said, whoa, if we can get Thomas, that's next level. The reason why was, our corners are so good in keeping coverage and man-to-man, and we play man-to-man a lot. But why? That's one of the reasons we can't force turnovers, right? When you're in zone, you're in space, you can react to the ball. It's easier for you to get picks. Now you have a center fielder. Now Baker, when he tries to squeeze the ball, he has Thomas to worry about. We haven't had that in a while. I love my boy Weddle. His reaction time was a little slow. He also, didn't help him that he was calling plays. So let me see here. Let's get it. Hope we draft AJ Brown and N'Keal Harry in the first. Then we jump. Oh, one of the two. Okay. Then we jump back into the second and Debo. That's my wish. So if Debo's later in the second round, and which, who did I mock? Oh, Debo, I mocked him to the Steelers in the second round. At that point, you're still probably going to lose 2/3, maybe another pick. I will have to make the math to jump over the Steelers to get Debo. If we get Debo, I don't think AJ Brown will be the best complementary to have Debo and AJ Brown, but Debo and N'Keal. So when I did my mock draft, as I'm making picks, I don't go back and like, oh, let me change this because this guy dropped, right? But after I finished and I had us taking our the first two picks I had was Butler and Ridley. And then I was like, after I finished, it's like, well, would I make any changes? Yes, I would have drafted instead of Butler, AJ Brown. And it was because instead of Ridley, I would have taken JJ Arcega-Whiteside. I think that combination was better than the other two. Newell might scream, but I think that would have been a better combination. I think we trade back to 25, 26, or 32, pick up a second or third in the process. So, the trade scenarios that I had was we traded for 22 all the way to 31st with the Rams. The Rams got Bradbury. That gave us 2/3. And then we traded with Oakland. That gave us an extra 4th to the second round. So at that point in my scenario, we have 4/3, although at the back end of the third, and 3/4. That's a really good haul. And then I used those picks to jump to the earlier stages of the third round, to get Ridley, to get Ben Powers. Then I got Zach Allen, which I love. Again, he will be a hell of a DN in a 3-4 scheme. I'm on the AJ Brown shopping cart. And David, he's going to make the biggest impact. Yeah, so AJ Brown is really good, guys. How really good hands. I love good route running. Very polished. If you think about it, Steve Smith, he retired when he was 37, right? Steve Smith was a guy that didn't have speed. He was gritty, but he would kill with route running ability, and that's how he got open. I think AJ Brown can potentially be like a Steve Smith Sr., which in my book I love. I want a Steve Smith Sr. like 5 years before. Panthers didn't appreciate that dude. So, hey guys, and if you haven't, please give it a like to this video. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Okay, so let me keep going here. BB, think of this. Patriots really want Noah Fant. I want to jump Houston for him. So they give up 64 and 32 for him. And we take McCoy in the second round. It's not a bad trade. I just think Houston is going to look for O-linemen. So, I think they would like Font. I also think they will prefer Hawkinson. Has the same style of Gronk. So, okay, Lex Geddes says, wait, no. Mike Baby said, Truth, thinking Calvin Ridley over Hayden Hurst. Yeah, I agree. Let's get now. Even saying that, I don't think he would have the same year he had in Atlanta. He's benefited from having Julio on the other side, and Sanu. He was the third guy. That helps a lot. But the one thing I love with Calvin Ridley was his route running ability. Okay, now let's get it said. The year with Perriman, there wasn't many good wide receivers. I agree. Let me look for that draft. Was it 17? NFL draft. 16. I think it was 16. Let's see. Oh no, that was Stanley. So that wasn't it. So I guess it's 17, 18, maybe? No. I don't know. I'll check later. Because I don't want to hold it you guys while I'm searching. What are your top? Okay, so my top 5 receivers are Jacobs. I like Henderson. Singletary. The guy from Iowa State, and Harry. I think those are my top 5. But none of them we're going to get in this draft. So again, I would love for us to get Bryce Love. That's the main guy that I would like, because I think in the position, right? Later in the draft. So let me see. That was Donovan. Okay. So let's get us yeah, Baby or DJ Moore. Well, DJ Moore won the pick before. I think the Ravens thought DJ Moore was gonna fall to them, and then the Panthers grabbed him before them. So Davis says, I just want DK to go to the NFC and stay there. The AFC has had its share of injury-prone receivers. Yes, they do. Okay, so here So Fernando says, I was referring to AJ Brown, not Marquise. Oh, I'm sorry. Been a long day. Marquise, when I told you, yeah, sorry. So yes, AJ, yeah, I'm fine with AJ. If we get one of my top 4 receivers, I'm buying their jersey. And when we hit 1,000 subscribers, guys, and I'm hopefully, this channel's not monetized. That's why I appreciate Marcus donated, and for donating, you have to hit the link on the description. But versus Nuvo, that you can see the little $sign and you can donate there. I can receive donations through YouTube. I have no monetization. So, but I'm trying to do giveaways as much as I can with the sales from the merch. So everything that I'm doing on the merch, I'm doing it for giveaways. So, but when we hit 1,000 subscribers and we hit the 4,000 hour watch, so I get monetized, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a giveaway of a jersey, Ravens jersey. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, every time we hit the milestone, we'll keep doing some giveaways. Okay, so let's get it. I'm so excited. Oh my god, dude, you don't even know. All I do is just think of draft. That's all I do. Fernando say it's so between Harry and AJ Brown. Yeah, I'll be okay with DK. I'll be okay with DK. Marcus says, bro, 4 kick to Gar, Stanley 4. I love your Skura emoji, Yanda and Brown Jr. I love it. I'm just saying that at 22, Lindstrom can still be that plug and play left guard. McCoy might be able to be that plug and play. No, McCoy can be center and guard. So you can feel like Escura more trashy than Hurst or whatever, and then you pick and put the other guy. Or maybe Escura will excel as a guard, and then you can put McCoy as a center. AJ89, I love. One of my favorite players all time. David says, in your draft file, you mentioned that third round was our money round. You still think that? And why not getting more second and less third? David, because the problem is not what, how I explain it. It's not what I want. I wish all the trades that I did in the mock, I can get second rounders. But the price doesn't dictate that. Again, I do this by math, which takes me too much time. My 3-0 took me 3 hours. My 5-0, sorry, 3 hours. So when I say, okay, the Ravens are gonna trade back to with the Rams, I was like, okay, so the Ravens pick has a value of, and I'm making this up because I don't remember right now, of 1,800, and the Rams pick has a value of 1,200. So they had to give me with their draft capital 600 points. So then I go in the second round, that was more than 600 points, or they did have a second round, I think. So then I went back to the 2/3, and that almost added, I think it went over a little bit. I think in that trade, the Ravens had to give it like a 6th round or something like that. So it's not that I don't want more second rounds. It's the math is how it dictates. I cannot force, because then I'm not being truthful to you guys, right? So I'm trying to be as accurate as possible, right? At the end of the day, is what the other team is willing to pay. But this is the Jimmy Johnson trading value chart, so that's what I'm going with. So, but good question. So let's get it. This year, wide receivers deep. I agree. Chopping car. I love it, David. The Steve Smith comparison will be with Harry. AJ Brown is more of a Juju. I don't know. I think AJ Brown is more gritty than Juju. We'll see what Juju does this year. Again, Juju had the benefit of Brown, right? He has Brown on the other side. When we were playing the Steelers, we were bracketing Brown. Juju had the opportunity to be one-on-one. And that's what happens. Now, when you play the Steelers, who you going to bracket? If you're going to bracket anybody. But if you're going to bracket, who you going to bracket? Juju. It's not the same, guys. It's not the same going from a number 2 to a number 1. David said this year is the most exciting year for the NFC North. It's going to be interesting. NFC North or AFC North? I think our division will be interesting. So, will you trade Lamar and our first for Russell Wilson? That's a good question, baby. There's a problem with Wilson. Trading something like that, you also are bringing that massive contract. So, no. Lamar in a later pick, maybe. But I have a lot of faith in Lamar. We will land a stud wide receiver to get, and we get to choose. That's what I'm hoping. In my mock, maybe I had DK only being drafted when we got there at 22. So there was, if we stayed at 22, we have just anybody but DK to pick. Baby says, the scariest thing is if DK goes to Pittsburgh. Oh my God. They know how to develop receivers, yes. Now, the question with DK is not if he can develop. My assumption is he can develop. The question with DK is, can he stay healthy? So, Rayhodo, what's up, man? Thanks for joining the live. If we can get Whiteside and Morgan Jr. or the mid rounds, we good. No need to. I think Whiteside, Morgan Jr. They're all raw. I think this year we need minimal 2 receivers, possibly 3. And I think our first pick should be a wide receiver. Hopefully. Again, I don't want to overdraft or force the pick. Very clear. So, that being said, let's hypothetically say we drafted 4. Or we traded back and we got McCoy or Lindstrom. And now, going similar to my 5-0, we have Lindstrom or McCoy, whoever. Now, we don't draft again until later in the third. If you trade back up, and your top receiver is going to be J.J. Arcega-Whiteside or Riley Ridley, those are all good players, but you're going to be asking a lot from those players. That's why I think you need to bring way more. I would love if we bring one of the DK or Butler and Keel. If one of those 3 is our first round, then I think Riley Ridley is good with us. I think McLaurin. I would love McLaurin. Andy Isabella, another guy that I like. So that I think then you can look for that complementary receiver to the guy that you just drafted. So David says it will be scary, baby. But yeah, sorry. Damn math. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, making a mock draft, at least how I make it, David. I take my time to make sure if I do a trade, it's fair, that I'm not ripping the other team off, because at that point, I'm not being honest with you guys. So if I put a mock draft, which I'm going to try to do, a 3-round mock draft, a new one, be sure that I did my time figuring out each draft pick's value and the compensation. That's the reason why that goes like that. So, Kashai Jackson, thanks for joining the live stream, man. We need 2 second-round wide receivers, or a second-round wide receiver and a third-round. So, essentially, that's what happened in my 5-0, Kashai. Okishai. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I ended up getting Butler and Ridley, which I think complement each other pretty good. As Keda says, even though I'm not high on DK, he will make our running game better. Because teams will... I agree. Look at this. DK can make the contested catches. Big body dude. He's fat as hell. Fast as hell. You tell Lamar, there's no high safety. Everybody's in the box. Fake the run. Just to keep the safety honest. Throw it deep. As fast or as deep as you can. DK, go make that play. If it is a little under the throw, you're 6'5" or 6'6", 250 or 240, you go get that ball. That is a scary scenario. Now the thing is, again, can he stay healthy? That's my biggest concern with him. Okay, David says AFC. Yeah, that's what I thought. They were mentioning AFC. David, that's true, Lex. Only if he is healthy. It seems like his injury are more like to the requiring someone like Earl Thomas. He had a neck injury, which is the one that scared me the most. So, I just think that first round, Hurst, I think, is going to be better this year. But having your first round not be able to contribute is hard. You drafting in the first because you think you can contribute. So, what if no receiver has been drafted and we're on the board? Who should we draft at wide receiver, or do we draft a receiver? If no wide receivers are, or if all the wide receivers are on the board, that means a lot of the other good players are gone. Perfect scenario to trade back. Now the question is, at that point, Lex, if you have a vision to the Ravens board, do they have the top wide receiver way ahead of the second guy? Because if you do, let's say they love DK by a lot, then you go draft them at 22. But if the range is close, you trade back. Because now you know there's all the wide receivers are there, and behind you, not every team needs a wide receiver. If you think about it, Houston doesn't need a wide receiver. And Philadelphia doesn't need a wide receiver. New England could use one, and the Colts need a wide receiver. So I will trade back. If that's the scenario, Lex, I will trade back. Oh, okay. So I pronounced it right the first time, and I forgot how I pronounce it. So I apologize. I'm Hispanic by origin, so English is my second language. That's why sometimes guys see me that I stop, because I need to process my English before I say it. So good, man. Thanks for joining the live. Says here, Gerald, man, glad you joined, man. And we're gonna be here around 15 more minutes because I need to do some engineering stuff for a friend. By the way, I'm trying to put, so we can have better live stream, I'm doing a computer. I bought used parts. I did a couple of things. I'll be putting all that on Instagram so you can see how that build, if anybody cares, how that build goes. Okay, so David says, also, that's why I asked my original question, though. No matches your dream guys have on the team. Okay, I got you. Yeah, it was just nobody has asked me before, like, give me your 5 guys for the Ravens. That was a good question. How likely are the Steelers to go for a wide receiver? I think the Steelers will go for a wide receiver either in the second round or that third round pick that they got for Oakland. First round, I think, in my opinion, if Devin Bush is there, they're going to get Devin Bush. If not, a corner. That's their weakest point by far, that defense. So, yeah, and I think in the second round, that's where I put Debo for them. But I can see them passing on that receiver in the second round and going with a receiver in the early third round pick. Let me see here. Lex says, but why pass up on the opportunity to draft something? So Lex, again, it's not that I said pass on them, but if all the wide receivers are there, let's say a team that you might trade with is the Eagles. The Eagles need O-line help, and they see Houston there, might be picking an O-line. You're dropping 3 spots. Houston's not gonna get a wide receiver, and who's 20? So we 22. That's Houston 23. Who's 24? Who was 24? Oh, now I need to pull this thing. Who's 24? Let me get this before, because I'm gonna go crazy. So 24 is Oakland. Oakland, I don't think is gonna draft a receiver. So at 25, you might still get your top choice. But my point to you is, if the disparity between the number 1 ranked receiver and the number 2 are big, I agree with you. But if you're like, either one, I'm fine. This guy might be just a tiny little better, but not as much. That's when you trade back. So Gerald says, I'm just getting off work, man. That's probably a long day of work. I wake up around 5 in the morning. I get here right to around 4, and then currently I'm doing a lot of YouTube stuff. So I feel you, bro. I feel you. Thanks for joining, by the way. Thanks for joining. So Lex says, I like we passed up on Riley and DJ Moore last year. Yes, but there's a difference. What I'm saying, if you have 5 or 6 receivers all put together, and you're just trading back, and you're gonna get one of those 5, you're good. The reality is, what it looks like from last year is the Ravens liked DJ Moore but weren't high on Ridley, so they decided to pass on Ridley. That's what I think. Ravens fans are never going to let Ozzie lift that and a couple other ones. Ozzie was amazing, and I'm so happy that we had Ozzie Newsome. The stability that this franchise has is insane. So hopefully the Costa can keep it up. Like, I wanted either one last year. So I wanted DJ, and then when DJ got picked, I was pissed. And I was like, okay, let's get Ridley. And when we got Hurst, I wasn't happy either because I wanted Goddard. He wasn't even the tight end that I wanted. So I was surprised. Now, seeing Hayden Hurst play last year, Hayden Hurst, once he catches the ball, he's pretty explosive. He explodes. I like what I see him a lot from him. I think Keem and Andrews are really good complement to our tight end. So I like it. Okay, so Marcus says Steelers need to go defense with the first 2 picks. Linebacker first, then address the secondary before wide receivers. They have Juju, Washington, and Moncrief. I agree. I just think if there's a really good receiver in that second round for them, they will pick him. Now, the Steelers, this is again a reason why I don't want everybody to be like, we need to do a wide receiver. The Steelers needed a safety last year. They reach bad. For Edmonds is a good player. He was at best a second round pick. They reached, I don't even know why, but they reached, and he had a decent year, not great. So that's why you don't reach for any particular player. Okay, so here, so Lex says this year might be our chance. I think we have a good team. A couple wide receivers and better O-line. And you're not going to get a perfect O-line, by the way. But if you can upgrade up that left guard, although I don't like Skura might be good enough for now. Rijoto says, I don't think Aussie wanted to retire anyway. I don't think Aussie wants to retire. That's why he's still a part of the team. But I think, Bachati said, it's time for you to step down. I'll keep paying you, less stress, be part of it. If the Costa happens to fail, the job is yours. I think that's probably how the conversation went. Yes, that's actually who I meant. Let's get it. Dallas Goedert. He when we drafted tight end, I was just shocked that we didn't get Goddard. Okay, so David says, from reports on Twitter, so take it how you like, but Aussie is still going to be very involved. No, definitely. That they made him like top advisor or something like that. He is gonna be there to help the Costa and everything. So, but this is the Costa's time, so you know. Lexigeta said, I mean, our chance to find and draft a good wide receiver. Oh, hopefully. I like the potential. Now, like I said the other day, all these guys have a potential of being a bust. All of them, minus AJ Brown, in my opinion. All of them have a floor that if they don't reach their ceiling, like DK, if DK's an injury-prone guy, like Mike Williams. Mike Williams is so good, but he is injured so much. It's ridiculous. And in Keo, if he doesn't develop more, you know, he's going to be basically a third wide receiver 3. And then Butler the same way. So AJ, I think at worst, is a wide receiver 2 in this league, as he currently is. So David said, Kings of the North 2 years in a row, knocked the pass on their hind. Parts show the NFL media who are still. You know what? Again, I made a video kind of challenging the whole mentality that the Browns are the best team. We match pretty good with the Browns. You put Humphries on OBJ. You put, in my opinion, Carr or Smith on Landry. You know what? Tavon can handle him. And then you go to the other wide receiver, which was the rookie from Florida, which is his name is escaping me. Put one of the other guys. Corner-wise, we match. Right? And then you want to go with 4 corners? You put Smith up and Njoku? That would look good. Man him up. You know what Cleveland had now? It's a weaker O-line. It is a weaker O-line. I like it, man. I think we can. You don't win games on paper. Yes, they make splashy moves. I understand why they're the favorites, but come and get the crown from us. That's all I have to say. Okay, let's get it. Are you and Nubo going live during the draft? Yes. So we're gonna do 2 things, or at least not we, but 2 things are gonna happen. Draft day, Joe Nubo's channel. I might get there 15 minutes after the draft started because my daughter has a soccer practice. I need to take her there, and then I'll be back. And we're gonna be all the way to pick 32, all the way. It's gonna be a bad day the next day at work. Not only that, day 2, if you want to join me, I'm gonna be second round and third round. And the Ravens currently had the last pick of the third round, so my expectation is to be all the way to the third round. That will be in this channel. Thursday, Nuvo channel. Friday, this channel. Okay. Are you guys doing first round or all the rounds? So together we're doing the first round. I'm gonna do second and third. Saturday, I'm not gonna be on YouTube. I have some family things to do. Only talking about Super Bowl wins on the table after the draft and see Lamar. I think, again, I keep saying if Lamar's progress 25% of where he currently is, it's going to be a scary thought. Because the problem with Lamar, the problem that I have with Lamar is, can you just hit the open receiver on a consistent basis? Receivers were getting open because there were so many people in the box. Now you start hitting the receivers. Now defenders are going to be like, oh, we can't load that box so much because he's getting 8 yards here, 7 yards there, 5 yards there. Oh, deep to whoever the receiver we draft or lastly, right? So you have to get better on the accuracy part. And he's accurate sometimes, but not all the time. I'm not scared of him. Neither am I, Jero. They haven't proven anything. I'm more scared of the Steelers because they're proven. But I'm loving the drama. Lex, you stay in Maryland? I currently live in Maryland, yes. I'll be in the flag football day the Engraving is having. I'm going to be there with him. I'm helping him organize it. So I'm going to be there on the flag football. So come, say hi. I'm not going to play because last year I had a knee surgery, so I don't want to mess my knee up. It's finally feeling a little bit better. David says, as you mentioned, too many egos in the locker room. Oh, that's the other thing. Oh, let me finish this reading. The Brownies will still be trash. I'm not sure about trash, but and unorganized as usual. Still be a pest, but not the Kings unless they knock the ego. So, two things. And where's the faith in Freddie Kitchens? Freddie Kitchens had never been picked for an OC job, other than his interim coach when the other guys got fired. Can he manage the whole team? Now you have egos, like what David was saying. It's not easy to manage egos. So when Baker doesn't deliver the ball to OBJ starts screaming. Baker's not gonna take that crap, and now you have a fighting in the team. Again, too quick on crowning them. When is the flag football day? I believe it's June 1st from 1 to 4. Raven has a flyer going by in Twitter and what's it, IG? I'll tell him to retweet it or to put it again in IG, and I'll try to retweet it. It's somewhere there. If you can't find it, send me a DM and I'll look for it. I'll send it to you, Gerald. I live by the National Harbor, MJ Grant. Man, that's a nice area. Let's get it. That's a really nice area. Oh, so that's where I send the cap, I'm assuming. That's a nice area. When I go there, I like it. It's a nice area. So Connor, what's up, man? Glad you joined. So we're interviewing Hollywood because you have to do your due diligence on all receivers, and they might like it. I don't know. I don't dislike Hollywood Brown. I just don't think he's the right receiver for us, if that makes sense. He is fairly good, but not the right receiver for this team. The flag football is somewhere in Glen Burnie. Yes, let's say it is somewhere in Glen Burnie. I'm gonna be there, so again, come and say hi. Cravis and Raven, what's up, man? Thanks for joining me. So Gerald, for some reason, YouTube restricted your thing. Let me see if I can see it on the other page. No. Anyway, got restricted, so try to write it again. I don't know why. So shout out to Cravens and Ray for joining the live. David said, "Oh, you're from Virginia, Ravens fan, cause the Redskins made me cry when I was a young." Very similar to Newell's story for coming to the Ravens. Hey, I'm assuming there's a lot of, as they call it, I don't know why they call this, ketchup and mustard. The Ravens Nation, or Redskins Nation over there. Deacon too, yes, so DK visited. If you ask me what receivers would you love for us, and I'm finally catch up with all those comments, will be one of the 3 big guys. It's the reason why I don't have AJ Brown as my top receiver. He's better than the other 3, but I need a big body receiver. How somebody Brown can adjust, but the other dudes. One problem that Lamar does, for some reason, he likes to throw it to the feet. If we draft one of these 3 dudes, just throw it high. Throw it high, they'll get it. They'll get it. So yeah. So Jared says, "Sorry, I hit the keys." Did you see the Ravens workout date list? I haven't seen who they brought in, if that's what you're asking me. Because I mean, you see the people they bring in. It will be, so they brought Ferguson today. That tells me they're interested in Ferguson. Ferguson is a second, third round-ish player. I remember when we drafted Bowser 2 years, or I guess now it would be 3 years ago, 3 drafts ago. We brought Bowser back late, and I was like, And I started like, this guy's a guy that I think we might draft, and we got it. So, you know. Let me see. NBA playoff is okay. Wait. Okay, so Lex, NBA playoff is okay. My Wizards need more help, but that's another story. Yeah, I recorded a video of the Wizards. I haven't edited. I love my Wizards. They need a lot of help, and I don't think Zion is the right player for this team. I'm gonna get flagged for that video, I'm sure, but I think we need a better shooter. I watched Game of Thrones, and if you want a quick spiel of Game of Thrones, I think it was one of the most boring episodes that I've seen from Game of Thrones. I was very disappointed. I'm hoping, and I know it will pick up the pace, but I was like, this is it, Game of Thrones? This is all you had to offer me for an hour? Anyway, David said, which receiver will come back to the ball, seeing as Lamar throws short more often than not? AJ Brown has the best comeback that I've seen. Enkyo has a pretty good one too. And Butler's okay. DK, not really. Not really right now. Again, something that you will learn. But if you tell me who's the best comebacker right now, I will say AJ. Now, dream scenario here. Well, I said before my dream scenario was drafting. Was it AJ? Not AJ. I said Butler and Harry. But that's not as realistic, right? Realistically, you can have Enkeel or Butler and get a McLaurin. I think that would be special. So let's get this. We got a Trey John Wall and as Hurutungo. That sounds like a Puerto Rican thing to say, Hurutungo. Like, let's get Hurutungo said, Wall is untradeable. He is untradeable. He got a contract with injury history. You can't. So we should draft. I like Winovich. I think is how you pronounce the last name. He's definitely a 3rd round outside linebacker. Again, you trade back. In my scenario, guys. Even though I pick with that Raiders pick in the 5.0, and you can go back and check it, I would have traded back again. Because Butler and AJ were still there. Butler and AJ. You trade back a little bit and keep gathering picks. Winovich in the 3rd round. Imagine in the 3rd round you bring Winovich, Allen, potentially Ben Powers. And Arcega-Whiteside, or Ridley, right? You bring 3 or 4 of those dudes, plus whoever the receiver you got in the first, as the first pick. That's solid, dude. That is real solid. Okay. Says Hurutungo said he's the Chris Davis. Nah. Hurutungo, no. Chris Davis is just bad. And the funny part is, I bash him, put the video on YouTube. That day he gets 2 hits. But whatever. Another story. Terry McLaurin. Yes, I like Terry McLaurin. Voted team captain 2 years in a row. Great. I love, again, in the 3rd round. Awesome. David said, haven't seen much of McLaurin. What's the short list of prospects? Yeah, so he's the other guy from Ohio State. By the way, Hurutungo, thanks for coming to the live chat. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Okay, so he's fast and he can catch. He can also run good routes. The biggest problem that I have with McLaurin is his frame. But he's feisty. I mean, for a smaller dude, he's feisty. If I don't, and I have to look back, but statue, weight-wise, he was actually 200 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. So physique-wise, he's bigger than Hollywood, and I think he can be as good as Hollywood Brown in this league. So I would love me some McLaurin. Again, fast, really good route running, not as good as AJ Brown, but really good route running, good hands. He doesn't let the ball come to his chest too much, which, again, if you follow me, I hate that. So Stefan Fernandez. Thank you for joining me, man. Again, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe so you can keep up. If all of you haven't hit the bell, hit that bell so anytime I upload something, you can get it. So thanks again for checking out Harmon. Oh, so you were the one that sent it. Okay. He'd be a solid pick for a very late round. Yes, there's a lot of depth. I haven't talked, and somebody that haven't talked in none of my videos, not even Nuva Boykins, another good guy. I feel like the receiver class is loaded. Last year wasn't loaded. This year is loaded with a lot of solid guys with a lot of good potential versus last year or previous year. Yes, DK is the only one that I can see potentially being a Julio Jones, but the other guys can be very, very good. But they might not have that top 5 player for the receiver. But look at it, it's incredible. That's why I think this year we're gonna draft 2 receivers, maybe 3. Okay, so Marcus said McLaurin can play on the outside, but can spell Hollywood for sure in the slot. McLaurin, yes, he's an outside guy because of his speed, and he can definitely do a slot. I think McLaurin is one of those guys that you move all around. And he loves to block. Again, dude is competitive and he's feisty. Love him. Tyreek Goat Hot Takes. Thanks for joining the live, man. Baker will hit the sophomore slump. Well, I would have to say last year, because I have a buddy of mine that he's a Broncos fan, and I told him last year, he was saying like, oh, we need a quarterback, and I told him like, best quarterback you can get in this draft was Baker. Now, I wasn't expecting the Browns to get him with the first overall. I said, if you can get Baker, I think he'll be solid. I don't think he's going to hit a slump. I think he's a really good quarterback, sadly. But he is a very good quarterback, so Emmanuel Hall. I haven't seen him. Let's get it. So send me that name on IG or wherever you send me a DM. Jennings, yes. I think again there's a lot of good value in that later picks. That's why trading back makes sense. Just hearing the word he's fast as the first pro for a draft pick, my head instantly goes to got you, but he has hands, David. He has hands. That's what I was saying. He doesn't let the ball go to his chest that much. He makes people miss. He can block. He can route run. Perriman can only do go route, as DK can. But his hands weren't good. The problem with Perriman, he went to the pro bowl, his pro day, and ran a sub 4.3. And they were like, oh my God, we need to draft this guy. You see this? He fly. Yeah, but you know what? It doesn't matter if he can catch. So Baker is a natural. Yes, I agree with you. Let's get it. Baker gonna throw 13 and getting that Baker doesn't. So Baker, it is prone to throwing some picks. And now with Thomas lurking over there in the center field, I think he will throw some picks against us. I'm so excited to see the new AFC North rivalry, Brownies and the Ultimate Ravens. I'm super hyped for football, and I'm a guy that follows a lot of sports, but I'm super hyped for football. Can't wait for football. Can't wait for next Thursday. Not this Thursday, next Thursday. Anyway, as we wrap up, don't forget this Wednesday, we're going to have a live mock draft, me, Nubo, and Chips. Next Monday, I'm trying to organize another live mock with people that are podcasters not from the Baltimore area. So that's going to be interesting. Be checking on the social media, my 6.0, and if you don't have any social media, let me right here, sports, SCG Sports. That's my website, so you can check when I put the 6.0 mock draft. I don't think I'll have time to make a video of that, but I definitely want to put a 6.0 out. The prayer man just ran like Forrest Gump. He did. Same here, Sonny. I am a sports fanatic. I love sports, dude. And Manahole is nice. Tiger will fight. I'm glad for him. Now, I will say that's one of the sports that I don't follow, golf. There's golf and NASCAR. I know the minimal. I follow basketball, baseball, football, hockey, go Caps. Who else? I'm very into the Olympics. I love volleyball. You know, I started to. This is stupid. I might lose some points with you guys. You know what I started to like after the last Olympics, the Winter Olympics? Curling. The sweeping game. Yeah, I know. It's horrible. Horizontal Tiger is the only reason I watch golf. Yeah, I mean, I like what I've seen from Tiger, but, you know, I just... I love tennis. My favorite is Nadal. And soccer. Love me some soccer. My favorite player is Messi. I believe our secondary will be Gerald, no question. Secondary is gonna be amazing. I'll be disappointed if our secondary becomes trash all of a sudden. Then we have no hope. Our secondary is legit. One of the reasons they kept Jimmy was to match up with the Browns. We have enough corners to match up with the Browns. There's no question. Yeah, curling is cool. I see curling on TV. I'm like, I can watch that thing, and my wife is like, "Oh, that horror, that sucks." And I'm like, I don't know, I like it. And like I said, my dude was Federer. Yeah, I think I hated Federer because sometimes he got the better of Nadal, but either it was spectacular to see those guys play. I'm a big Serena Williams fan, but I also like my girl, golden medalist, Monica Puig from Puerto Rico. She won the gold medal of tennis last year. I'm a little biased, but you know. So, Hurutungo, who you saying to go? Federer, I'm assuming. I thought Shooter McGavin was going to catch Tiger. Oh, at the end. It got close, but to be honest, I wasn't watching. I was just following. I agree. That's what I'm saying, David. I just chill and watch curling. I'm like, let me lay back. Let me just watch it, right? Drinking there, just watching, whatever. Relaxing. That's how I feel with baseball. You chill and watch. By the way, good win for the Orioles. Pete Sampras. Honestly, I hope Jimmy Smith don't get hurt. Okay, the thing with Jimmy, even if he gets hurt, Gerald, that's why we had depth, right? We had the guy that never gets hurt in Carr. I think the starters are actually Jimmy and Humphries. And you have a solid guy in Carr. Carr's not that much, or Jimmy's not that much better than Carr. But you had depth. Marlon pulls a hammy. You still have two good corners on the outside, because we haven't talked about the inside, right? We have who? Tavon and Averett. That I like flash, but I saw Kennedy. He's up and down, but we have a solid. I mean, our corners are stacked. That's our deepest position. So David said, I was just about to say baseball too. Basketball and football are my intense and hype games. I agree. Love me some basketball. Love me some football. I grew up watching baseball and basketball. I pick up football's not big in Puerto Rico. I pick up football like middle to high school. I remember watching my first Super Bowl was Packers and was it Oakland? Maybe. Anyway, and I liked it ever since, and then I started learning, and now I just can't live without football. I just bleed football all the time. Okay, says soccer I love soccer, and I'm very big into the U.S. women's soccer team, and I wish the men's were better. I like it a lot. I love FIFA. I love the World Cup. Anyway, I digress. But hey, I don't mind. Guys, we have 10 days, roughly, for the... I can't watch NASCAR Horodungo. I'm sorry. So we have 10 days for the draft. Anything you want to know, if I'm not doing the live, hit me up. Instagram, as you can see it there, scrolling. Instagram, Facebook, my email's scg.sports.com. The website has to contact me. You can hit me through there. Twitter, you can DM me. You can reach out to me however you want. Hit me up. The other thing is, if you want to contribute to the channel, the merch, I'm coming with more merch stuff as soon as we get the rookie. If it's a rookie that I think there's a design to be made, we'll work on that. So let me see here if I'm pushing down the live. I love me some dodgeball on the ocean. Love me some dodgeball on the ocean. Yeah, man, football's my favorite sport overall. Draft, yes, excited. Let's make this thing. I love the cards. Now I know. But don't forget about the jet. I'll be amazing. Or we all will be crying till preseason. I think it'll be fine. Don't forget, we're gonna be live that day and Wednesday. I'm gonna be again in Nubo's channel with NF podcast. Thanks, Euro. I tried to keep up with all the questions, and again, a lot of you have hit me up on DM. Do I watch this? What is your opinion? If I haven't watched the player, I will acknowledge, hey, I watched it, but it takes me a good 4 or 5 days for me to watch different films. Again, I just don't go to watch highlights. I need to watch tape, and then the other thing I do is I check. Like, one of the things for Andy Isabella, and with this I'm gonna finish. Andy Isabella, I'm like, he's UMass. How can I compare? He's all these garbage players, right? And then I was like, oh wait, he played Bama. Damn, he torched Bama. So I went and looked at that game. I was like, Bama knew the only guy they needed to guard was Andy Isabella. He was still making plays. So the dude is tough. So that's what I do every time you guys send me some players. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you to joining me on the live. There's gonna be one on Wednesday. Next Monday, there's gonna be a collab. But yeah, this Wednesday, Gerald, on Joe Nubo's channel, not my channel, Joe Nubo's. We're gonna do a live mock draft at 8:30. So join me, join Nubo, and like I said, we have a lot of lives coming up. We love the questions. So I'll see you next time, guys. Peace out.